talking about exposure, chemical exposure, radiation exposure, food, but how about other factors of our life, like trauma, spiritual beliefs, and all the other things that can actually be a reason for stress?
You know what? In a nutshell, stress can be released through mediated positions. Stress can be mediated in its release through different components in the brain, right? Mm-hmm. And there are emotional control centers and there are logical control centers in the brain. And they basically communicate with one another to try and allow our cerebral activity to be in a state of optimal awareness. Mm-hmm. So yes, trauma can definitely cause stress hormone release. So too can exposure to environmental factors. So there are multiple pathways that can really amplify stress hormone to be released. But what we need to take home from all of this is, what does stress hormone do? What does stress hormone do? It provides the body with enough raw material to create a metabolic shift.
Sure.
What do I mean by that? Metabolic flexibility. Mm-hmm. So for those of you who don't understand what metabolic flexibility is when you can take your body from a state of calm, which should predominantly be using fats to fuel mitochondrial processes, to a dramatic state of excitation, to shift the process to use glucose rapidly, because glucose provides more immediate energy, as those of you who have studied energy systems would know. Mm-hmm. So if we have poor metabolic flexibility, what happens? We aren't able to shift to and from predominantly basal lipid systems to more excitatory sympathetic glucose dependent systems. We always stay in a state of glucose dependence. Mm-hmm. So what does stress do? Why is it happening? Stress is giving you the raw material to fuel your need for a altered metabolic shift in flexibility that is not natural. Yeah, and that's what causes mitochondrial damage. That's what causes cardiovascular risk and increase in damage of atherosclerosis, high blood pressure, damage to receptors around the cellular membrane. Everything. The list goes on. Yeah. The list goes on.
Yeah. This metabolic syndrome X, as they say.
Yes. So
I think you guys took a lot on board in regards with the stress and stress responses and what actually happens in the body. But what can we do to reduce it? So let's give them a few good essential tips.
Okay. In my opinion, before anybody embarks upon a diet, they need to set themselves in a position to be able to handle the outcomes of a diet, right? Or a training program. Mm-hmm. Now, so I'm going to, in answering your question, I'm going to ask you questions, because that's going to really just get those light bulbs burning bright, right? What do both diet and nutrition enable the body to do?
Pardon?
What do both diet and nutrition enable the body to do?
Function optimally and get a good metabolic rate.
And through increased metabolism, we have enhanced detoxification.
Exactly. So detoxify our body optimally.
Right. So before we can get into a position where we can handle a greater toxin exposure, because when we detoxify, we're pushing toxins out of our cells into our bloodstream and subsequently into the digestive tract and removal through bile conjugation, as an example, right? We need to be in a state where we can handle stress.
Yeah.
Because toxins are stressful. So first and foremost, how do we get the stress down? By amplifying a conjugation pathway called glycine and amino acid conjugation with 5 major amino acids. Obviously, there are certain scenarios where arginine cannot be used, as most people know. However, may not be able to use to proliferate in amounts, but the main 5 amino acids are ornithine, glycine, arginine. I've forgot the others, but I'll definitely send them over to you. 5 major amino acids that are used in those conjugation pathways. If those amino acids, particularly glycine, is utilized to help modulate stress, it actually allows for the neurons to be in a better state of polarity, and thereby allows for synaptic responses between neuron cell bodies to be a lot more even. a lot more calm. And if we reduce the, how can I say, DC to AC current in our body, if you know what I mean, we allow for better control and response and how the outcome to those synapses have an effect on stress hormone release in the body. So those 5 amino acids. Second to that, lifestyle factors. Limit the amount of screen time that you have behind a computer. And if you have to work behind a computer, if it's part of your living, utilize certain factors like blue light blockers. Invest in EMF blockers from Blue Shield. There's a company called Blue Shield. I think they're based out in Denmark, if I'm not mistaken. And they help to...
You find them on Amazon. If they Google Amazon, they are.
Yeah, BLU, no E behind that, Blue Shield. Fantastic way just to reduce the impact that EMF may have on your body and the frequencies of having in the body. Measure, evaluate consistently. I think in living in the day and age which we're living in, it is our responsibility in order to see exactly how well our bodies are contending with stress. Because like you said, there's no way of getting away from it. So we can't get away from it. Let's figure out a strategy and how we can better deal with it. And the only way we know if that strategy is working is if we test. I like 3 very basic biomarkers: body temperature, heart rate variability, and glucose. Fasting, pre and postprandial, depending on the symptoms that are being exhibited. I love those because they are cheap to utilize, and they're extremely effective because they give you a current window of and depiction of what is going on within your body. Then once you're able to get those markers into a better even position for a period of at least 2 weeks consistently, then and only then, and I cannot stress the word only then, embark upon a plan that's going to amplify your fat loss, it's going to increase your, all these wonderful ketogenic, fasting, Atkins, paleo, they're all lovely. They're lovely. They work. But the body needs to be in a position to handle them.
Exactly. To handle them, to handle even the training, the right type of training, which is a stressor for the body, which not everyone is prepared to. Everyone in London, they want to train hard, go hard, but their body is not ready for it. And then they end up in a major metabolic illness.
Metabolic mess. Like the way I like to work, Andreea, if a client comes to me, and often my clients aren't just regular folk, but they're fitness models, bodybuilders that have just been pushing it too hard for too long.
Well, and I know your system, and I actually asked for all your information and the contact information for everyone who wants to get in touch with you, because I'm sure and I know how much you can transform their lives.
But you know what's so shocking, and so for a lot of these guys coming onto the program, is that month 1, often more than not, has them doing yoga or stretching. Let's not call it yoga. It's not to put a label on it. This is call it stretching dynamic. So stretching with intention. I like that. It's stretching with intention. Often they don't do any weight training for a whole month. They're like, oh, I'm going to lose my muscle mass. I'm like, no, you're not. Listen, it takes 3 months of reduced activity. And I say reduce less than 30% of your normal activity to actually start going into muscle wasting. 3 months. And multiple case studies have been represented on this notion as well.
Most of the people in fitness, they don't even know that.
Yeah, you're not going to lose muscle by stretching for 1 month.
Exactly.
But what you're going to gain from it is a better autonomic position, which means you're going to grow better, digest better, feel better, live better, and ultimately look better, which is why a lot of people do these things. But how cool would it be if you look awesome and you feel awesome? And how often does that actually happen in this industry? Not very often.
Very rarely. In terms of relaxation methods, what would you suggest people to do, like meditation or all the things that will help them to kind of reduce a little bit the amount of stress and anxiety they go through?
Buy a dog.
I'm actually considering that. I want to get a dog or a cat.
Like buy an animal that you can show love and appreciation to. Animals are great ways of just dialing down your frequency into the real world and out of the virtual or artificial world that we've recreated ourselves. Yeah, an animal is a great way to do it. Other than that, if you find yourself, don't get me wrong, Andreea, although I'm speaking about stress control, I still go through stress.
Everyone
I still go
does.
through days where I'm like feeling dislodged and crazy in my head. But because I have all these tools in place, I know what's happening. And I think that is the thing, but knowledge is power, right?
True.
So if you're going through like a rough patch and you do your biometrics and it comes out that you're sympathetic, you know what's happening. And you're like, okay, cool. I can take it easy. I need to take it easy. And if I take it easy, I'm not going to be like this forever. And that is the big pressing issue that a lot of people have in their minds, is that they're going to be stressed forever. When they have an anxiety attack, when they feel depressed, they feel like it's never going to end. But by giving these tools, it just gives hope. It gives hope because of knowledge to what the body is going through.
Hope to get better through natural ways and not ending up being on like harmful medications.
Exactly. And
Tell me a little bit. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No. With that, regarding harmful medication, like I said to you before, I have to use hormone replacement therapy now for the rest of my life.
That's not as bad as lorazepam or Xanax.
No, definitely not. But the reason why I brought it up now is if I had known this 6 years ago, I wouldn't be in the health position to have to utilize these pharmaceutical interventions now 33, and I'm very young to 33 to have to use it. So I'm hoping that those, even if it's one or two souls out there that are listening to this, that are still in the early days of performance enhancement or in the early days of stress management and contention with that, with the psychiatric treatment, whatever, can take on board that if you were just to measure your biometrics and figure out what works and what doesn't work. And it's so individual. Meditation may work for you, it may not work for the next person. A glass of water may work for me, a cup of tea may work for you. So all these things are so individual, and the only way we know what really works for us is by testing, so we don't have to guess.
Sure. We don't like to do guesswork, and that's why it's good to have a very good health professional next to you that can guide you through the right path. And talking about that, I'm very, very grateful that you joined me and you gave me so many knowledge and so much information. But I want people to know where they can find you. Yeah, in South Africa.
For now.
But online. For now. Give me what is your website? What is all the information where people can contact you?
Awesome. So my website is www.theonlinegammaproject.com. You can also contact me via email, which is info@hulk, HULK, enterprises, plural, ltd.com. Or just drop me a message on Facebook, Justin Maguire. It's MAG, like Jerry Maguire.
Powerful group on Facebook, where you empower people all the time as part of your mentorship program. So I highly recommend everyone who's keen to learn more or to find out more to join Justin's programs. They are very revolutionary, and you get so much out of it.
Yeah, and they're free. The mentorship's free. I don't charge a cent for it. It took me 10 months of research to put it together. So it was a lot of time.
Because I read the manuals and I wow.
But it's my way of giving back, and I'm happy to do it. Just to be able to educate professionals out there to give their clients a better chance. So you can. The closed group is called the Gamma Project on Facebook. If you type in the Gamma Project, there's a page and there's a group. I don't really use a page that often, but I'm very proactive on the group. Just request. More than likely I will accept you, unless you are a complete narcissist, in which case I'll make you beg for it. But just give me a shout, and I'm happy to help.
Sure. Justin, thank you so much for sharing with us your story and for being so real and so powerful. And then all the great and the positivity and greatness that you gave me today in the podcast. I'm really grateful. God bless you. And I hope I'll have you again in one of the next podcasts and share a bit more knowledge with everyone.
Oh, you can count on that for sure. And have a blessed evening, and God bless you too. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, Justin. I shall speak to you soon. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all for watching ProBody Talks. We will be bringing you more guests in my upcoming episodes. Great inspirational human beings, so stay tuned. We have a lot of valuable information that I hope will inspire you all. In the meantime, you can support us by subscribing to my Patreon account. Thank you and goodbye, everyone.